Family, what's down? What's down? Part two of this chip. Oh yeah, can't forget. This live is brought to you by the good old Herbalife. You feel me? This tastes a little different. It's a different flavor from what I usually uh, drink. I hit my wife up because I'm running low. Actually, I'm out, but I hit my wife up. Well, she gave it to me yesterday, but I'm on it today, baby. Man, Herbalife get you right. I'm telling you. Okay, so this is part two of how to create a. Hold on for a second. Sorry about that. So this is part two of how to create a routine that serves you. All right. So this routine is basically we're constructing how to create a success routine, right? And the success routine is basically um, it's how can I break this down? So the success and conquer routine consists of a schedule routine that includes in the goals, that includes in the practice and habits you must implement to achieve your goals. The key, which is the most important key in having success routine, and that's preparation. And that kind of go along with the healthy practices and habits that we must have. And if we obey our routine, then as time progress, so will we in our lives, achieving and accomplishing those things in life, or achieving and accomplishing our goals that we have in life that will guarantee that we move forward in life, that we make progress, that we be more effective and efficient and productive in our everyday lives. Like God told me before, like if you be friend time, because time waits for no one. You can't stop time. The only thing you could do is work and do what you're supposed to do as time progress. So will you in your life. You know what I mean? So that's the goal. God need us get moving, being more productive in everyday life. This just going to work and coming home, that ain't cutting it. This just just the basics things that we have settled for in our everyday life. It ain't gonna cut it. You know what I mean? It ain't cut it this far. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna cut it moving forward, because if it's just about the money, our job's not giving us raises. If it is, it's like long after the cost of living have increased. You know what I mean? Like inflation and everything is going up. Like it's still no balance. So if that's what we own, we're gonna continue to drown. We're gonna continue playing catch up. We're gonna continue being stressed out and asking God why me, or like not believing that it's possible, because we're getting further and further behind, running harder and harder and harder trying to catch up, and we're not getting any closer. All right. So what we're doing is we creating a routine where where we can start eliminating the stress that we have in our everyday life, like minimizing as much as we can. That way, we won't be all stressed out when it comes down to to putting forward the mind, tapping into our vision in the future that we want to have, the dream that we always dreamed of. Now because we're so stressed out, we don't think it's possible. Well, I ain't got time for that, and I'm tired. You know what I mean? Like we have to start taking control of our everyday life, and by creating a routine that serves us, then that helps us take control of our everyday, not apart from Christ, but what's in our responsibility and what we can control. We not being reactive, we being proactive. And this will then help us be more successful in our everyday life. And by being successful in our everyday life, we start to see, because now not only that we have time, that we can fit in more time to do more things, to to make more goals and work towards achieving those goals, but then we'll begin to get motivated at and believing that we too can be successful, and what we're trying to go after and what we're trying to do, like we can be successful at it. And by having us a routine and obeying this routine, we'll flow like water every single day, and whatever comes our way, it just comes. You know what I mean? Like, but we'll be more on the upside of it, opposed to being reactive and trying to figure out, okay, what I'm going to do now. Like even with the whole health thing, what I mean? Like people are being proactive by taking care of their bodies. What I mean? The way they eat, working out, whatever that is, right? And when things like COVID comes around or something like that, those some of those individuals don't necessarily have underlying health issues. What I mean? Or because they've taken care of their body, they could still catch COVID, but it won't take a toll on them, opposed to someone who was have not been taking the toll. I mean, have not been taking care of their bodies. You kind of get what I'm saying? So it's all about being proactive, and by us having this success routine, where like we have everything I need to do this at this time, and this how long it should take me to do, boom boom boom, and then leave, head to work or whatever. We go to work, we ready for the day, because we started out conquering our day in the first section of our day, waking up to doing all the things we have to do, to the time we actually have to leave, heading to whatever our morning destination is. We start out on a good foot, so when things come our way, because we've been handling our business today, something extra fall on our table. Okay, cool. I have a little extra time anyway, because I've been managing my time, because you know, time, talents, and treasures. Like, I mean, we're supposed to be good stewards of our time, talents, and treasures according to the word of God. So if we're managing our time well, when things are dropped on our plate that consists of taking our time, guess what? It's cool. We can find where we can fit in the schedule. Or because we already got ahead of the game, we didn't handle our business, accordingly. Now we can focus on that thing that just fell on our plate, knock that out, and keep it moving. We won't be stressed like, dang, I gotta do this too. It's a mindset. We gotta change that. All right, but enough. Let's go ahead and dive in real quick. So I went over a series of questions in part one. If you have not checked out part one, in this live now and go check out part one. Part one it was really heavy, which led into part two. I had to end it abruptly, but now I'm here. We're gonna finish part two. But if you have not seen part one yet, please go and check out part one. I cover the questions and introduction and everything that's going to lead you to this right here, because it won't be a part three. We're going to end it with this, but this is going to be the icing on the cake. Another reason why it's important to go check out part one and then check out here part two is because um, Saturday or Sunday, if God wills, then we're going to do the so this is just a standard routine, right? So this week on our 5 a.m. drill, I've been talking about goals, right? So all of this is just like not going into details on the goals in the 5 a.m. drills. Is kind of like waking you up to like set goals for yourself. You know what I mean? Like personal goals, family goals, business goals, whatever your goals are. Um, Set goals for yourself. Don't look at where you are because it's not where where you feel like it could be. Don't let that stop you from planning or setting goals and planning, because setting goals, planning how to achieve those goals, that's what's going to change your current situation. But if you just look at it, well, there's no point. You know what I mean? Like I'm stuck in this. It's always been like this, so ain't nothing gonna change. Guess what? Nothing is gonna change. Nothing is going to change because we're not going for nothing. We're not setting goals and like, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to accomplish. I didn't see myself working here 20 years ago. I didn't plan for this. I just end up here and I just been here since. Like, no, we're not doing that no more. That's that reactive state. We're not doing that no more. We being proactive now by planning for our future, because if not, our future is going to make plans for us. And I promise you, you will not like, I will not like what the future is going to plan or what the future is going to give us. All right. So yeah, so this week on the 5 a.m. drill, just basically like, just trying to get some type of like motivation or encouragement to like start setting goals. And then this weekend, this, because I'm showing you how to create a routine now, and by having this down pat or having your routine, then this weekend you'll see where you actually have more time to create. And I say create, but it's not like we can just make more time, but we can find the time in our 24-hour day where we can actually do more. So that's the significance in having our schedule or our routine and knowing exactly what we have to do, scheduling that joint, like putting some structure on it, and then now we can fit in what the goals. Okay, if I want to do this or whatever, or I want to achieve that, that goal is there. So whatever that goal is, that goal, whatever that practice is, or whatever that thing I have to implement, whether it's reading, whether it's studying, whether it's whatever it is that I have to do every single day, to invest that time in whatever skill, whatever education, whatever that is, to make sure that I can achieve this goal in a couple of months or whatever that deadline is. I have that time window to do it in. And that's what we're going to cover this weekend. But we have to get the standard routine, the standard schedule routine down packed. That way we have it down packed now. But that, let me show you how to create another time window to focus on achieving this goal right here every single day and being consistent with that. Then in time, then you begin to achieve and knock out these goals. But we have to get this part down pat first. All right. So now we're gonna go cover. Thought I went in there and got some paper towels because this cup sweats. Hold on for a second. Josiah, can you bring me one square of paper towel, please? Come here real quick. Can you tear out one square of paper towel and bring it to me, please?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Still have a slight headache?
Yeah.
Hmm? What are you in there doing?
Watching TV.
Alright, don't be close to the screen. Sit all the way back on the sofa.
I am.
Hmm?
I am.
Alright, you need to drink some more water, and I'm gonna finish this, and then I gotta wipe down the restrooms and stuff, but I'll be with you in a little bit, all right?
Mm.
But I still need that paper towel, though, you feel me?
Okay.
Still need. So, all right, so before I get started, I have to invite the man in so the Holy Spirit can take this in the direction that that he needed to go in because it's bigger than me. I've been instructed to do this. This is what he gave me 5 years ago, this schedule routine, because I understood that in order for me, thank you, young brother.
Where I go?
Mm.
Where I go?
Beat it like Michael.
Where I go, Michael?
Hey, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Can you push down on that AC arrow, the down twice?
Yeah.
Thank you. Because like I said, 5 years ago, I was going through it, and and I knew that when it came down to things changing for me in my life, only one person can do it. Like, because all the things I've been doing, been trying, it wasn't working. So obviously, I needed some guidance. I needed someone to show me the way, because the way that I chose, it was getting me nowhere in life. So I needed to get aligned with why I was created, doing what I was created to do. And I knew that was, whatever God created me to do, and I couldn't do it without a relationship with Christ. You know what I mean? So I knew, because I had to develop my relationship with Christ. That means I needed to spend more time with Him, right? But I'm looking at my schedule like I have to be at work at 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? I get up at this time. I have to leave. I have to leave home by this time. I don't have enough time. Like, where am I going to do it? So I asked him, "What time do you need me to wake up every morning to, to spend time with you?" And he told me 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. And I'm like, sheesh. But at that time, I didn't care. You know what I mean? Because I was desperate. Like, I needed him. I needed the way. You know what I mean? Like, so that's how it all started. I mean, he told me wake up at 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? And then from there, he actually showed me how to, you know, um, schedule my routine, like cut out the things that didn't belong in my routine, and then start scheduling, looking at my routine, basically exactly what we're doing here. You know what I mean? All the things I had to do, how long it takes to do these things, and then like put time windows. You know what I mean? If it's 15 minutes, you know what I'm saying, then 4:15 to 4:30. You know what I'm saying? Then the next thing, 4:35 to 5. You know what I mean? Then the next thing. You know what I mean? And that's how he gave me structure in my routine. And even with, so that was my ultimate goal, building a relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? Then I had a window for, being creative. But I guess we'll talk about that on the goals joint. But he just gave me structure. He just showed me how to do it. And it's like, now I just know it because, you know, of, basically what I did. You know what I mean? Like, it just became a part of my life. Now my schedule is all out of whack. So I don't necessarily have a schedule routine, but because that is a part of me, I still know how to schedule whatever it is I need to do. All the things I have to do, I still know how to, like, okay, delegate. You know what I mean? Like, and then, even having the time frames on point. You know what I mean? Like, so knowing what I have to do tomorrow, whenever I get off in the morning, then I can kind of go from there. But it's just knowing how. So when you are in a when your schedule is crazy and you don't necessarily, it's kind of hard to schedule your routine because of how things are in your the schedule at home. Because this stuff, you can still be successful in your everyday, because you know what you have to do for, like, home duties and stuff like that. You also know what you're trying to achieve. So like, okay, I'm gonna have to carve out this time to do this, to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you just flow with it. You feel me? Like, now, I mean, I just know what time I'm gonna have to leave for work tonight, right? But I know what time I have to leave work tonight, but I also know what all the things I need to do. So I'm gonna give it about 30 to 40 minutes on here, finishing out part two. And then I'm running there and, wipe down the restrooms and stuff real good. And it was a couple more other things I have to do, but I have time windows and how long I have to do that because I know what time I need to lay it down. But then too, I know I still need to go in there and spend time with my little dude for a little bit before I lay it down. You know what I mean? I have like probably like a 3 hour window right now to do it. You feel me? And still, I'm able to get like 3 to 4 hours of rest in before I have to get up, go get it in. I'll talk about practicing habits. I'm going to show you. I already have my sandwiches made for lunch. I already have like whatever healthy snacks I'm gonna take with me. I got my little fruit bowl, watermelon, cantaloupe, pineapples and stuff whipped up. I got my waters in the fridge already. Like I have all that stuff ready, so I don't have to wait 15, 20. I mean, I don't have to lose 15, 20 minutes later on trying to rush and make me something to eat real quick for lunch. You know what I mean? But that comes with the practices and habits. We're going to talk about not this weekend, but the following weekend. And what is that? That's that key preparation. It's all about preparation. If we are prepared for whatever to come because we know what we have to do, we know what has to be done, and we get ahead of it instead of procrastinating, wait till later. I still procrastinate at times, but when we don't do it, we are super efficient and super effective. You know what I mean? And having a routine, it through the roof. Anyway, so all right. So question number one. I'm sorry. How to schedule your routine. The first thing is including in your must do's. What is your morning routine? So from the time you wake up, what is it you have to do? From the time you wake up, that it's like, okay, I have to be out of here by 7 o'clock. What are all those things you have to do, right? So I'm gonna turn the screen around because I started doing this the other day, but again I had to stop. Right. So this is the example. So this is the example right here. Right. Hold on. So restroom. I wake up. Well, this is not my routine. It's just an example. Restroom, brush teeth, wash face, breakfast, shower, get dressed, make lunch, leave home. Make lunch. We really shouldn't be doing this in the morning time or the day of we have to go to work. We really shouldn't, unless we get off like unless we work overnight and we wake up. I mean, whenever we get home, amongst different things that we have to do, we go ahead and knock this out right here. So whenever we lay it down, our lunch is already made. So when we wake up before we go to work, this we don't have to worry about. That comes with the key preparation, right? Healthy practices and healthy habits. You know what I mean? Having that done before we even have to, way before we have to go to work. All right. So and then we leave home. All right. So then the next question is, how long does it take for us to do each of those tasks? And you write down next to that. Wake up. Let's say 10 minutes to use the restroom. Right. I guess this is kind of flipped. I should have flipped this. But anyway, 10 minutes to use the restroom. 5 minutes brush teeth, wash face. 35 minutes to make you breakfast. 35 minutes to make you breakfast and eat breakfast. 25 minutes to shower. 10 minutes to get dressed. 15 minutes to leave home. I'm sorry, 15 minutes to make lunch, and then boom, you can leave home, right? So, all right, so yeah, and like these questions that I'm sorry, these step by step process that I'm sharing right now is 5 of them. It's actually in the description below already. Usually I do it afterwards, but I had a little extra time. I was able to throw it in there real quick, right? So we include the must do's, um, and then we also wrote how long it takes to do each of those tasks. This is exactly how you're gonna create your routine if you are one who need assistance in how to do that, right? This may not apply to everybody, and that's okay. Um, but so the third thing is we're gonna add those times up, right? So, all right, so that's 15 minutes, 35, that's 50, hour and 15, hour 25, hour and 40 minutes, right? Uh, all right, so it's an hour and 40 minutes. All right, so you got that, right? So now what we're going to do is step number 4, how long it takes you to get to your morning destination, right? So now I'm gonna go back up to the first 3 questions that I brought to you in part 1, right? Because when we get done with doing these 5 steps, we're gonna have the first 3 questions answered. All right, the first question is, what time do you have to be to your morning destination? That could be school, that could be work, meeting, whatever it is. What time do you have to be to your morning destination? All right. Then the second thing is, what time do you have to leave your house to make it to your morning destination at least 25, let's say 30 minutes early, right? I know a lot of people don't believe in making the work that early, but I'm telling you, it's stressless. Again, one of the goals is to minimize the stress, right? As much as we can, what we have control of. Because a lot of times, like I said in part 1, we start our days off stressed out because we wake up in the morning after we done snooze a few times. So we waking up running late already. We hate going to the job where we work at, or we just not feeling it today. So now we laying there a little longer, like just thinking about how much we don't want to go to work or go to this place, how much we're not in the mood, how much we're not feeling it. So there's more minutes adding on. And then we start thinking about all the things that we have to not only do at work, but we start thinking about all the things that we have to do and get ready before we actually leave work. So we already stressed out before we even get out the bed, and God just woke us up. And how, if we already like that, how are we going to thank God for another day? How are we going to be grateful that He breathed life into our nostrils again? That we actually have a job to where we can provide. Like, how are we going to be in a thankful state if we already thinking about all the things that we're viewing negative, that we have responsibility for? You know what I mean? Like, imagine doing all this and then we getting on our knees. God, thank you for another day. Thank you that we have this. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. That's kind of a contradiction. You know what I mean? That's kind of like, that's kind of fake. You know what I mean? Like, but that's something that we have to check ourselves on, because we all do it at some point. You know what I mean? Like, it may not be every day, you know what I mean? But we all, you know what I mean? Like, um, so yeah, we start our day off stressed out. So we have 3 goals for part 1 and part two of creating a routine that serves you. And the first one is eliminating the stress. We can't eliminate it completely, but we can minimize it as much as we can, and what's in our control. And that's starting out with our routine. whatever we have to do within our responsibility. You know what I mean? Like, so this routine, this scheduling our routine, creating this routine, scheduled routine, this going to help minimize the stress, right? The second thing is to become proactive opposed to being reactive. You know what I mean? Like being ahead of the game. Because when we're playing catch up, that's already stressful. Mind you, we wake up run late already because of the snooze button. And then we land there because we don't feel like getting up. We think about all things we have to do and we ain't in the mood for it. You know what I mean? So this we already running late. So we already kind of like in a reactive state already. You know what I mean? So yes, that's adding more to the stress. You know what I mean? But this routine, by creating your routine, that's going to help you be proactive. That's only if you are obedient to your scheduled routine, your success routine. All right. And then the third thing is um, so proactive, taking control of your life by controlling your everyday. So when we're talking about proactive, taking control of your life by controlling your everyday, and your routine will help you control your everyday with what's in your control. And then the third thing is become successful in your everyday life. Those are the three goals while we're doing this live, and it's the success routine that we're doing that's going to guarantee you that. All right, so that kind of have like a cucumber like taste, and with a twist of um, pineapple. Kind of weird. But anyway, um, so the first thing we just did, we include in the must do's, um, the things you have to do from the time you wake up, how long it takes for you to do each one of those things, and then we just added it up, right? So now, um, so how long it takes to get to your destination? All right. So let me write this destination. Let's say let's say 9 a.m. Right. Um, 9 a.m. I'm gonna turn the screen around, so don't worry. So so 9 o'clock, right? So commute. Under that, we're gonna put commute. How long is a commute? Let's say 30 minutes, right? It's a 30-minute commute from your house to your morning destination. I, don't get ahead of yourself. We're gonna talk about, if you have a couple stops. Right now, we just one thing at a time, right? So if the goal is for us to make it to work 30 minutes ahead of time, we don't need to be leaving work at 8:30. I mean, leaving home at 8:30. Because if it's a 30-minute commute, guess what? We're gonna pull in the parking lot at 9 o'clock. We already late. We still gotta run in there and clock in. We still gotta get our stuff out the car, get our stuff together. You know what I mean? Like, so we can't be leaving 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? We can't do that. So if the goal is to make it to work 30 minutes ahead of time, guess what we need to do? Whether we like it or not, we need to leave at 8 o'clock. All right. Hold on. We need to leave home at 8 o'clock. We need to leave home at 8 o'clock. All right. So I'm gonna turn this joint around so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. So if the destination is we have to be there at 9, the commute is 30 minutes. We need to be leaving by 8 o'clock. That's just what it is. All right. Got it? And whenever I'm done, I'm gonna turn this all around and let you kind of like look at it, right? So, um, so now, um, so now, what if you have some stops to make on it? Just say you have 2 stops you have to make, right? After we do this, I'm gonna show you how to schedule your routine, and we'll be done. All right. So just say you have 2 stops to make, right? Now, how long is it going to take you to get to your first stop? Hold on, let me see how did I write this out? How long? Okay, yeah. Okay, how long will it take you? How long will you be at each stop? Right? So let's say stop number 1. Um, let's say at stop number 1, you'll be there. Like, just say if you want to stop at Starbucks or something to get some coffee. And we know Starbucks line be super long, but they kind of quick though. You know what I mean? So we're gonna say 10 minutes, right? That's 10 minutes. So stop number 2. Stop number 2. Just say you have to stop and get gas. See, another healthy practices, healthy habits. Now, the bad practice and bad habit is knowing that you're going to need gas the day before, but making a conscious decision, I just get gas in the morning on my way to work. Same thing making the lunch. If we can do it the day before, we need to do it the day before. So if we need to get gas, we shouldn't be stopping to get gas in the morning time on our way to our morning destination. We shouldn't be. You know what I mean? But since, sometimes we choose to do that, I'm gonna factor that in. So stop number 1, 10 minutes. Right? That's that Starbucks run. Stop number 2, oh, that's 10 minutes. So that Starbucks run, gas. Stop number 2 to get gas. Let's say 5 minutes, right? Okay. Take 5 minutes. So that's 15 minutes in addition. Now we can't be if we have to be at work at 9, we can't be leaving our house at 9 o'clock uh, um, or even 8:20 because that's already 15 minutes. So if we're gonna push it like that, we need to be leaving at least like add on that 15 minutes to that commute, right? You know what I'm saying? But again, we're not doing that. In that hour time that we have, we're not using that extra hour where it's gonna get us to work 30 minutes early. We're not using that time to make these stops. You know what I mean? Like the hour is if we have to be at work at 30 minutes or wherever that morning destination is, we have to leave at least 30. We have to leave an hour early. That way we make it 30 minutes. So if we have to make any stops into that, we're not taking away from that hour. We're going to add on to that hour. So if it's going to take like 15 minutes, we need to be adding on. But hold on, wait though. So all right, so now we have to factor in. Uh, let's let's assume that these stops are on the way, because if it's not on the way, just say if we got to backtrack 7 minutes to go get Starbucks, then like that's you have to add at least additional 7 minutes. You know what I mean? Because you backtracking 7 minutes, right? So that 7 minutes is 8 up that you then added to the hour. Then you gotta backtrack 7 minutes to kind of like get to where the starting point is, like round by your house and continue on. So we have to factor all these things. Like you might think I'm crazy, but we factor in these things so we'll know what time we need to leave home, right? But let's assume it's on the way, right? So That's 15 minutes. That's 15 minutes in addition. Um, with the time, right? And then we also have to factor in how long it takes to get to stop one, how long it takes to get to stop two from stop one, and then factor in how long it takes to get from stop two to our morning destination. It seems like a lot because how I'm breaking it down. You know what I mean? Like, but think about it. So if everything is on the way, so you just say, I leave my house now, right? There's a I don't drink Starbucks, but just say we're doing a Starbucks run, we're doing a gas station run, right? So when I leave out of here, Starbucks in the gas station spot is about probably like, especially like in the morning, we're gonna say 10 minutes. I leave here now, I make it there in 5 minutes, but I know it's going to be traffic, especially where I live at and around the time if I leave in the morning. These things we have to factor. So I'm automatically add 5 minutes to that commute, which I'm probably still a little off. But so just say I leave here, it take me 10 minutes to get to Starbucks, right? I'm gonna be there 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, and then get a quick trip right across the way. I say that's another 2 minutes. Really, it's about 1 minute, but off of 35, rush hour is gonna be hell. You know what I mean? So we're gonna say 2 minutes. Get gas, 5 minutes. So how long is that? So that's 10 minutes there. That's 10 minutes there, and then I lose 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So that's 25 minutes right there. From the time I leave my house, get to Starbucks, then get gas, that's 25 minutes right there. So if I have to be at work at 9 o'clock, and the good thing about it is because it's off the service road, so I can hop right on the freeway and continue on. You know what I mean? Like, which I probably wouldn't go that way anyway because 35 is hell. So I just take the back street and get on 35 or 20 down the road somewhere, but we ain't doing all that. So I'm trying not to confuse you in the game because I could be all over the place. But so that's 25 minutes, right? So if I'm going to leave here, if my goal is to make it to work at 8:30, I'll be there at 9. So I need to leave here at 8 o'clock. But because I'm making a couple of stops, I'm gonna add those 25 minutes to it. So I really need to be leaving by 7:35. All right, 7:35. I can be pulling out a quick trip after getting my Starbucks run and my coffee. I can be, I mean, and my gas. I could be pulling out no later than 8 o'clock. You feel me? You see where I'm going with it? And so knowing there's going to be traffic though, that's what I didn't bring to you. Like, so another reason why you want to leave a little extra early, even if you don't have any, even if you don't have to make any stops, and that's a 30-minute commute. You know what I mean? Like you can add maybe like additional 10 minutes to it because you want to keep that 30-minute window from when you make to work. If for whatever reason you encounter traffic, you encounter detours, you encounter anything, that's what that window is for. The goal is to make it to work 30 minutes early. But if I encounter traffic, the unforeseen issues, you know what I mean, then that's cool. I have that window. So if for whatever reason that 15 minutes, 20 minutes gets sucked up, I'm still about 15, 20 minutes early for work. I can rock with that. I done made to work 8:45. I done made to work 8:40. Even if it's hectic, I make it to work at 8:50. That's cool. I still have that 10-minute window. I ain't stressed out. I ain't road raging. I ain't cussing people out. I ain't, you know what I mean? I ain't zipping in and out of traffic. I ain't like, I'm not going through it mentally. I'm not stressing because I have this window. Another practicing habit that I do healthy is everywhere I go, I put on Google Maps, because Google Maps is going to tell me what's the best route every time. 98% of the time, it's going to tell me the best route every time. Every time. You know what I mean? And considering I'm from here, you know what I mean? Like, even if it tell me to go this way, I know what exits that I'm dealing with. So I know here, if it's traffic here, I can exit off, boom, and I can get right back on. Because here, like, because there's not a light right there. You know what I mean? So when it's bumper to bumper right here, I can exit off, you know what I mean? And I don't have to stop at that light down right there, because I can get right back on the freeway, bypass that light, and I can do the same thing at the next exit. You know what I mean? Exit off, I don't have to hit a light, cool, bet. I'm going to get right back on the freeway. You know what I mean? Like, the next one have a light, I ain't gonna exit there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's probably congested there because everybody else been exiting off. Or everybody else is trying to get on the freeway, but they at that light. I'm not gonna get off there. I'm gonna stay on the freeway. Guess what? By doing that on and off, I probably done add like 3 to 5 minutes to my commute. You know what I mean? Like, but it's being proactive. I ain't stressed out. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't got to do it because I have this time, but I want to keep my time, so I'm gonna do that. I'm not finna sit in this bumper to bumper traffic if I don't have to, or if I'm somewhere I know the back roads. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit some back roads. You know what I mean? And then get back on the freeway, because Google Maps is telling me, okay, the wreck or whatever it is going on right here, it clears up right here. Oh, bet. I know exactly where I'm at. I'm going to exit off, hit a couple back streets, and get back on, and we chilling. You know what I'm saying? But it's being proactive. You know what I mean? Like, opposed to just going with the flow, because going with the flow, it don't get us nowhere. You know what I mean? Unless it's our routine, we done create a routine where we disrupting the norm in our everyday life. We create that routine. Now we can roll with that flow. We can flow with that, and then we can just roll through successful with it. You know what I mean? And that's just getting to work. All right, so I think y'all get my drill by now, right? But, like, y'all might think I'm crazy, but these are the things that I factor in everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. I ain't got to be going to work. We be going to the movies or something. Guess what? Pulling up Google Maps. What's the best route? You know what I mean? Like, I could be getting off of work. I don't care if it ain't in rush hour. You know what I mean? Like, guess what? Google Maps show me the fastest route, which I know which one it is. But is it a wreck, or is it anything that will interrupt my peaceful ride to the crib? If so, I need to be aware of it. So now I can start thinking where I can exit off, or if I can exit off. Like, what can I do to bypass all this? You know what I mean? Or if I just have to just ride it out. Cool. If I have to ride it out, I need to know that I've weighed all my options before I got to that point. So when I get to that point, I ain't stressing off like, dang man, I could have did this, or I could have did that. No, I know this was the only thing I could do. So we're gonna ride it out. You know what I mean? Just like that. But so so what? Okay, so that's if we have stops, right? So now how I'm going to map this out, though, I'm not going to include in the stops when it come down to answering those 3 questions: what time we have to be where we need to be, what time we have to leave, what time we have to wake up, right? We're going to simplify this, right? So um, uh, so I think we kind of did that. So now let's go back to time we wake up. So we have to be at work at 8. If we have to be at work at 9, then we need to leave home about 8 o'clock, right? That'll give us that 30-minute window. That's without traffic or anything, right? Now, if it's normally traffic when you leave for work. So we just doing like a standard thing, right? At the end, we'll talk about now if you have to, if it's usually traffic, you got to factor all that in, all those different things. All right. So we're going to do that at the end. So, so destination. Destination is 9 a.m. Start on the commute. Um, 8 o'clock. So now let's talk about what time we need to leave home. Okay, before, I didn't show y'all this, right? So this right here, right? Destination, 9 a.m. We need to leave at 8. 30-minute commute. So that's where we got there. I think I showed you that part. Okay, if we have any stops, so that's the Starbucks run. 10 minutes. And then that's the gas station, 5 minutes. Granted, it probably ain't gonna take 5 minutes to get gas. You know what I mean? But we have to factor in a little more time than what it actually takes. Right? So this is the time it takes. So it's gonna be a total of 15 minutes. So we need to leave 15 minutes earlier than that hour, right? And then we also have to factor in how long is it going to take to get to our job from that last stop. All right. Now, if it's on the way, cool. We just gonna add however long it take for these two. But if we're gonna be 3 or 4 minutes out the way, we need to add additional 3 to 4 minutes to that. You know what I mean? Like, but we need to know how long it takes to get from stop 2 to our destination. If it's 20 minutes, then we gotta add that 20 minutes in with stop 1 and stop 2. So if that's 10, 5, 15 minutes, we need to add additional 20 minutes. You know what I mean? That's if it's out the way. But if it's in the way, I mean, if it's along the way, then this right here is cool. You know what I mean? In addition to this hour, it takes for us to get to our destination. It's take 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like we want to keep that 30-minute window. Now, destination, 9 a.m. commute. We leave for our commute 8 a.m. Guess what? We're answering these 3 questions. What time? What time do we have to leave? What time we have to be? Where we at? What time we have to leave? And now we're going to talk about what time we have to wake up. All right. Now, so I have all this out, but God had me to literally like write all this stuff out. Actually, I did this last week, I believe, in anticipation for this past weekend, so I can go step by step, simplify it to where it's digestible. You know what I mean? Which I hope is, I'm articulating and explaining and giving examples where you can understand it. So now let's talk about what time. I'm sorry, hold on, let's flip that one more time. So this right here, hour and 40 minutes, right? You see that? Hour and 40 minutes. We have to leave by 8 o'clock. So now, if you think about that, right? What time is it? I need to be wrapping this up. So, so if you think about it, right? So we have to leave at 8 o'clock. So we take an hour and 40 minutes. It take us 10 minutes to do this, 5 minutes, 35 minutes. We add all that up. That's how we got the 8:40. So if we take an hour and 40 minutes back from the 8 o'clock, that's about 6:20. That's about 6:20. So guess what? A lot of you bet that I'm gonna wake up at 6:20. Wake up 6:20 a.m. All right, but I mean, that's like waking up, getting on the money. So most be like, well, I'm gonna wake up at 6 o'clock. I have to leave home by 8 o'clock. They give me 2 hours to do everything I need to do, and leave by 8 o'clock, and so on and so forth. Right? That's cool. You know what I mean? That's cool if you don't have any goals, if you're not trying to accomplish things, if you don't have if you're not trying to create a future or find out what it is that you are here for, why you were created, the things that you was created to do. That's just waking up. I'm going to do my 9 to 5, and I'm coming home. You know what I mean? Like that's just what that is. Okay, cool. If that's you, you need to wake up by 6 o'clock. They give you additional 20 minutes to do whatever, right? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to write out how to schedule this routine, right? So now, so if I have to wake up at 6 a.m., right, and it takes me 10 minutes to do my restroom thing. Do this. So six to 6:10. And then shower 25 minutes, so that'll be about 7:30. Get dressed 7:35. We're gonna make that 15 minutes, especially if you get out the shower. I hope you put lotion on, right? Um, so that's 7:35. 7:35, 15 minutes. That's no, that's 7:50. I'm sorry, 7:50. Um, and then 7:55. We're gonna say make lunch at. We're gonna say make lunch at 10 minutes, right? That'll put us at 8:05. And here we're going past the time because obviously whenever we use the restroom, um, I'm sorry, just say like after we brush our, well, I'll show you when I turn the screen around. So lunch, and then we head out the door. We're going to say 8:15. All right, so look, check this out. So now this is how you will schedule your routine. Want to turn around enough? Okay. So so we got restroom. You've seen all this, right? So now we're gonna come down here. So we went past the 8 o'clock, and that's because of, like, for example, after we brush our teeth and wash our face, by the time we get into the kitchen and start breakfast, it's a good 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's not 6:20 to 6:55, because I mean, the bathroom is on one side of the apartment or house, and then the kitchen is somewhere else, right? Um, so that's why we went past this time, because I also did the same thing. Also did the same thing here. From we get out the shower, we have to dry off and stuff like that. And by the time we dry off and put lotion on, it's about 7:35, and then about 15 minutes to get dressed. So actually, I added in the 15 minutes with the whole getting dressed, lotion, everything. So that came out to be about a good 20 minutes right there. So that's why I exceeded the 8 o'clock, and even here I would cut this out because I won't be making my lunch right when it's time. You know what I mean? And then I also did the I just normally we just leave, but I hope y'all warm up your cars before you leave. So we say 5 minutes to warm up the car. So that's why I exceeded the 8 o'clock. But you get my drift, and like this is pretty much how you schedule your routine. This the this is significance in knowing exactly how long it take you to do each task. Because if you know how long it take you to do each task, now you can create you a time window to do each task. This is what I call a scheduled routine right here. You just scheduled your routine, your morning routine. So now what we want to do, we want to be obedient to this routine, to this scheduled routine. If we need to wake up at if the time is set, if it's set to wake up at 6 o'clock, we need to be getting up at 6 o'clock. You know what I mean? Using the restroom. Okay. Whenever we look at the clock, whether we doing this, this or this, we need to be within that window for that particular task. You feel me? We don't need to be, exceeding that 25 minute for shower. Me, like, that's kind of hard. Yeah, I mean, but it's just being disciplined. Like, this is how we structure our lives, starting with the first part of our day. You know what I mean? Like this right here, waking up, restroom, and brushing teeth, and all this. Like, this is a standard routine, but we need to put in additional 30-minute window, because at least 10, 15 minutes to pray, so on and so forth. But I put that in there with the goals. We'll go over that this weekend, right? God says the same. So with that, this 6 o'clock, waking up at 6 o'clock, that ain't gonna be enough. We're gonna have to bring this back a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add, okay, so what are some of our goals that we wanna do? And then whatever those goals is, and just say if it's health thing, physical health, you know what I mean? Then okay, just say if I want to get a 30-minute workout in, so we're gonna back this up to 5:30. You know what I mean? I gotta pray or whatever, so I'm gonna back this up to like 5. You get my drift. So this is how you schedule your routine. Let y'all see what's going on. So this is the things I have to do when I wake up. This how long it take for me to do each one of these things, right? And then this is how I schedule this routine, right? And then we're here to answer the 3 questions. What time do I need to be to my destination? 9 a.m. Okay, cool. I need to be leaving at 8 o'clock. The answer that what time I need to leave home. That's 8 o'clock. That's not factoring in traffic, although that can include in traffic. But we don't wanna give away our time like that because especially if we have stops that we have to make, then that's gonna eat that hour up really quick. That and traffic, if we factor in these two and and traffic, that's going to eat that hour up. So we definitely have to add more time to that hour commute. But if we don't have to make any stops, we just on that commute, guess what? If it's 30 minutes to get to our commute, like we can get away with leaving about 7:50. That's factoring in extra traffic. Why we doing it only 10 minutes? Well, because we already have like an hour in between. It take us 30 minutes to get there. If we lose that 10 minutes, then we still make it there at 8:40. You know what I mean? So, and we still good with that. We ain't got to NASCAR it in, come up in the parking lot sideways. You know what I mean? Like, and then running a sprint race, trying to hurry up and hit the clock or whatever, and then have to go back out to get our stuff out the car because we didn't have enough time to grab it. So because we was going to hit the clock late, that's stress, right? So then that means so in the wake up time, 6 a.m. That's 2 hours to do everything we need to do before the time we have to leave at 8 in an hour destination, right? So this is how you schedule your routine. All right, so if we obey the routine, then like our day, the way we start our day, we would be uh, less stressed. We would. Some people do the meditating thing, kind of like get them prepared for the day. But again, we'll talk about all that in a goals joint or whatever. But let's keep the main thing the main thing. So, um, what was I saying? So, um, I forgot what I was saying. Mm. So now, when we obey our schedule, then now we'll be less stressed. To at least not stressing at all. You know what I mean? Like, and then as the day come, then things may come that, trigger stress or whatever, but at least we start our day off ahead of the game. We in the right spirits, you know what I mean? Like we're good here. You know what I mean? Our emotions isn't like all crazy because we we we're prepared for the day. You know what I mean? Like, so stressless, we begin to control our everyday because now we're starting to control our everyday. I'm sorry, we begin to start controlling our life because we're starting out controlling our everyday, which with what we have control of. And then the final one is we'll then be able to position ourselves to become successful in our everyday. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. I hope this helped. I truly hope this helped. If you have any questions, please and what you call it below, shoot them out there. You know what I mean? If it was helpful, you know, let me know. If it wasn't helpful, if you feel like that, hey, what about this? Or you could have did that, or what if we do it like this? You know what I mean? Put whatever concerns, questions, thoughts, ideas, whatever it is, put it down below. I would love to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, because what it's the goal. We coming together to get through and grow together. Because at the beginning and ending of reality, your struggles are my struggles. So we have to convert one another. Like, we have to like bounce ideas off one another. We have to share the successes. We have to, even be transparent with the failures. You know what I mean? Like, because we coming together, like I might can't help you in a specific area that you're struggling in, but because you was transparent someone who see this might have an answer or a solution or share with you what God did for them, what, and whatever you're struggling with, then they can share. You know what I mean? Like, and we just keep this thing revolving around, going in circles. It's a family affair here. You know what I mean? So I think that's it. I feel like I'm missing something, or leaving something out. Um, but I think that's it. But yeah. So again, if you have not watched the first one, please go back to the first one, because that was the foundation of this one. That was an introduction and everything getting started leading to this. But some things that the Holy Spirit put in my spirit to speak to, for like our jobs, making them successful, and we're failing in our everyday life, and it's due to us not having structure and not being organized. We're failing in our personal life, but we're going to our company because they have a structure, because their stuff is organized, at least enough to where they are multi-million and billion-dollar companies. Like, we're going in and making their business a success while we're failing in our personal life. And it's because they have that structure, they are organized, they have a system, they have a plan, they have goals. And we, as the people who are employed by them, we're helping them reach their goals. We're helping them become successful. We're helping them like build generational wealth, and so on and so forth. And it's because okay, we need to hire this many people. Okay, we need to have this person do this person to do this person on that. They need this, they need that. Okay, we get that. Then this will run successful. They know what they're looking for, but it started with a thought. God gave them a thought. God gave them an idea. God gave them a vision, and now they're successful. God gives us a vision. God gives us a thought. God gives us ideas. God gives us gifts, talents. He gives us the time. Like he gives us the ability. He gives us everything we need. Why are we struggling? Why are we not successful? And what we've been created to do. And the foundational part of it is we lack structure in our everyday life. We lack organization in our everyday life. We're not adhering to the vision that he has given us. We're not spending time in the vision. We're because of what we're going through, we're not setting ourselves goals because we think this is final, or we're comfortable where we are and we don't think it will ever change. So we're not setting goals for ourselves. Therefore, we're not constructing a plan to get out of our situation, a plan that's going to help us achieve those goals. And we begin achieving those goals, then things start to change in our everyday life. You know what I mean? Like, it starts now, and it starts with a routine. If we can't get our day to day right, how can we expect anything to change in our lives? We lack discipline. We're not consistent. You know what I mean? Like, we lack belief in ourselves and our ability. We don't believe in God. We don't believe there is a God. We don't believe in Christ. We don't believe there's a Holy Spirit, which the Holy Spirit, he's our helper. You go to the book of John. He's our helper. It said he will remind us of the things that Jesus has taught us. You know what I mean? Like, and he basically like just show us the way. You know what I mean? He speaks to us. Like, it's just so much. But because we lack belief in so many different areas that's so vital to just our existence alone, like, we're stuck trying to figure out. You know what I mean? Like, so, but that's on a whole nother level. But just know where we are don't have to be what it is. You know what I mean? If other people are successful, if other people are doing it, like, if other people is proving that it's possible, you know what I mean? Then we're not supposed to just sit back in the stand. Yeah, like cheer them on, celebrate them. But at what point are we going to be tired of always celebrating everyone else, but we're not doing anything to celebrate ourselves. At what point? That time, it starts now. Again, this weekend we're going to talk about the goals, and we're gonna talk about the goals, and then we're gonna redo our schedule routine, including in these goals, so you can see that you have more time than you actually think you do. You just have to be obedient to your schedule routine. You have to get organized and structured in your daily routine. And then that's when you will find time to do this and do that. That's going to help you to start achieving the goals that you have, that's going to change your situation. But that starts with believing that there's more and believing that it's possible. God said, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to bring you hope in the future." A lot of us run around this joint hopeless. A lot of us run around this joint just don't believe that it's possible. It said, with God, all things are possible. All things that He created us to do, have gifted us to do, called and purposed us to do. Everything. All of it is possible. All right, but it's according to what you believe. Let's close. Heavenly Father, thank you for your word. I pray that this word have reached each and every one of us where it's needed. Empower us to do what you have created us to do. Show us the way, and be patient with us, but also help us know that now is the time, not later. And it starts right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank you, Lord. Amen. Family, until we meet again, I love you.